Are you blind when you're born?
Can you see in the dark?
Can you look at a king?
Would you sit on his throne?
Can you say of your bite that it's worse than your bark?
Are you cock of the walk?
When you're walking alone.
Because jellicles are and jellicles do. Jellicles do and jellicles would. Jellicles would and jellicles can. Jellicles can and jellicles do.
When you fall on your head, do you land on your feet?
Are you tense when you sense there's a storm in the air?
Can you find your way blind when you're lost in the street?
Do you know how to go to the Heaviside there?
Because jellicles can and jellicles do. Jellicles do and jellicles can. Jellicles can and jellicles do. Jellicles do and jellicles can. Jellicles can and jellicles do.
Can you ride on the broomstick to places for distance? On Leo and Candle, with book and with bell. Were you Whittington's friend?
The Pied Piper's assistant.
Have you been an alumnus of heaven or hell?
Jellicle songs for Jellicle cats. 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 We could fly through the air like a flying trapeze. We could turn up the soft lights on the tile. We could run up a wall. We could swing through the trees. We can balance on bars, we can walk on a wire. Jellicles can and jellicles
a Gumbie Cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Any Dots. Her coat is of the tabby kind, with tiger stripes and leopard spots. All day she sits upon the stair, or on the step, or on the mat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie Cat. That's what makes a Gumbie Cat.
But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumbie Cat's work is but hardly begun. And when all the family's in bed and asleep, she tucks up her skirts to the basement to creep. She is deeply concerned with the ways of the mice.
Their behavior's not good and their manners not nice.
So when she has got them lined up on the matting, she teaches them
music, crocheting and chatting.
I have a Gumbie Cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Any Dots. Her equal would be hard to find. She likes the warm and sunny spots. All day she sits beside the hearth, or on the bed, or on my hat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie Cat. That's what makes a Gumbie Cat.
But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumbie Cat's work is but hardly begun. As she finds that the mice will not ever keep quiet, she's sure it is due to
irregular diet,
and believing that
nothing is done without trying.
She sets right to work with the baking and frying. She makes them a mouse cake of bread and dried peas,
and a beautiful fry of lean bacon and cheese.
Dilly-da, 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 wahoo, dilly-da, 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 wahoo, dilly-da, 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 wahoo. Wah-wah, 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 wah-wah.
I have a Gumbie Cat in mind. Her name is
Jenny Any Dots.
the curtain cord she likes to wind and tie it into sailor knots. She sits upon the windowsill, or anything that's smooth and flat. She sits and sits and sits and sits, and that's what makes a Gumbie Cat. That's what makes a Gumbie Cat.
But when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumbie Cat's work is but hardly begun. She thinks that the cockroaches
Need employment
to prevent them from,
idle and wanton destroyment.
so she's born from that lot of disorderly louts, a true of well-disciplined, helpful Boy Scouts.
With a purpose in life and a good deed to do.
And she's even created a Venus tattoo.
Thank you, my dears.
The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. If you offer me pheasant, I'd rather have grouse. If you put me in a house, I would much prefer a flat. If you put me in a flat, then I only want a house. If you set me on a mouse, then I only want a rat. If you set me on a rat, then I'd rather chase a mouse. The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. And there isn't any call for me to shout it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it.
The Rum Tum Tugger is a terrible bore.
When you let me in, then I want to go out. I'm always on the wrong side of every door. As soon as I'm at home, then I like to get about. I like to lie in the bureau drawer, but I make such a fuss if I can't get out. The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat, and there isn't any use for you to doubt it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it. My disobliging ways are a matter of habit. If you offer me fish, then I only want to feast. When there isn't any fish, then I won't eat rabbit. If you offer me cream, then I sniff and sneer, for I only like what I find for myself. So you catch me in it right up to my ears if you put it away on the larder shelf. The Rum Tum Tugger is awful annoying. The Rum Tum Tugger doesn't care for a cuddle, but I leap on your lap in the middle of your sewing, but there's nothing I enjoy like a horrible muddle. The Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. The Rum Tum Tugger doesn't care for a cuddle. And there isn't any need for me to spout it, for he will do as he do, and there's no doing anything about it.
Mungojerrie and Rumpleteazer, we're a notorious couple of cats. As knockabout clowns, quick change comedians, tightrope walkers and acrobats. We have an extensive reputation.
We make our home in Victoria Grove.
This is merely our center of operation, for we are incurably given to rove. We are very well known in Cornwall Gardens,
In Longston Place
and in Kensington Square. We have really a little more reputation than a couple of cats can very well bear. If the area window is found ajar,
and the basement looks like a field of war, if a tile or two comes loose on the roof,
which presently fails to be waterproof, if the drawers are pulled out from the bedroom chest and you can't find one of your winter vests, if after supper one of the girls suddenly misses her Woolworths pearls, the family will say it's that horrible cat.
was it Mungojerrie?
Or Rumpleteazer.
And most
Most of the time they leave it at that.
We are highly efficient cat burglars as well.
And remarkably smarter to smash and grab. We make our home in Victoria Grove.
We have no regular occupation.
We are plausible fellows who like to engage a friendly policeman in conversation. When the family assembles for Sunday dinner with their minds made up that they won't get dinner
On Argentine joints,
potatoes and greens,
and the cook will appear from
behind the scenes.
and say in a voice that is broken with
I'm
sorrow,
afraid you must wait and have dinner tomorrow, for the joint has gone from the oven like that. The family will say, it's that
horrible cat. Was it Mungojerrie?
oh, Rumpleteazer.
And most of the time
they leave it at that. Mungojerrie and Rumpleteazer have a wonderful way of working together. And some of the time you would say it was luck.
And some of the time you would say it was weather.
We go through the house like a hurricane, and no sober person can take his own.
Was it Mungojerrie?
Or Rumpleteazer,
Or could you have sworn that it might have been both? And when you hear a dining room smash,
or up from the pantry there comes a loud crash,
or down from the library there comes a loud ring,
from a vase which is commonly said to be Ming,
the family will say, now which was which cat? It was Mungojerrie and
Rumpleteazer. And there's nothing at all to be done about that.
Deuteronomy's lived a long time. He's a cat who has lived many lives in succession. He was famous in proverb and famous in rhyme, a long while before Queen Victoria's accession.
Old Deuteronomy's buried 9 wives, and more I am tempted to say 99, and his numerous progeny prospers and thrives, and the village is proud of him in his decline.
At the sight of that placid and bland physiognomy, as he sits in the sun on the vicarage wall, the oldest inhabitant croaks, well, of all things, can it be really? Yes, no, ho, hi, oh my eye. My mind may be wandering, but I confess I believe it is old Deuteronomy.
Well, of all things, can it be really? Yes, no, oh
My legs may be tottery, I must go slow, and be careful of all Deuteronomy.
many a low resort near the grimy road of Tottenham Court. She flitted about the no man's land, from the rising sun to the friend at hand, and the postman sighed as he scratched his head. You really have thought she'd ought to be dead, and who would ever suppose that was Grizabella, the Glamour Cat.
Gus is the cat at the theatre door. His name, as I ought to have told you before, is really Asparagus, but that's such a fuss to pronounce that we usually call him just Gus. His coat's very shabby, he's thin as a rake, and he suffers from palsy that makes his paw shake. Yet he was in his youth quite the smartest of cats, but no longer a terror to mice or to rats, for he isn't the cat that he was in his prime, though his name was quite famous, he says, in his time. And whenever he joins his friends at the club, which takes place at the back of the neighboring pub, he loves to regale them if someone else pays with anecdotes drawn from his palmiest days. For he once was a star of the highest degree. He has acted with Irving, he has acted with Tree, and he likes to relate his success on the halls, where the gallery once gave him 7 cat calls. But his grandest creation, as he loves to tell, was Fire Fro Fiddle, the fiend of the fell.
I have played in my time every possible part, and I used to know 70 speeches by heart. I'd extemporize back chat, I knew how to gag, and I knew how to let the cat out of the bag. I knew how to act with my back and my tail. With an hour of rehearsal, I never could fail. I'd a voice that would soften the hardest of arts, whether I took the lead or in character parts. I have sat by the bedside of poor little Nell. When the curfew was rung, then I swung on the bell. In the pantomime season, I never fell flat, and I once understudied Dick Whittington's cat. But my grandest creation, as history will tell, was Fire Fro Fiddle, the fiend of the fell.
And if someone will give him a toothful of gin, he will tell how he once played a part in East Lynne. At a Shakespeare performance, he once walked on pat when some actor suggested the need for a cat.
And I say now, these kittens, they do not get trained as we did in the days when Victoria reigned. And they never get drilled in a regular troop, and they think they are smart just to jump through a hoop.
And he says as he scratches himself with his claws,
well, the theatre is certainly not what it was. These modern productions, they're all very well, but there's nothing to equal, from what I hear tell, that moment of mystery when I made history as Fire Fro Fiddle, the fiend of the fell.
Whisper down the line at 11:39 when the night mail's ready to depart.
Saying, Skimble, where is Skimble? Has he gone to hunt the thimble? We must find him or the train can't start.
All the guards and all the porters and the station master's daughters would be searching high and low, saying, Skimble, where is Skimble? For unless he's very nimble, then the night mail just won't go. At 11:42, with the signal overdue, and the passengers all frantic to a man, that's when I would appear, and I'd saunter to the rear. I'd been busy in the luggage van.
Then he gave one flash of his glass green eyes, and the signal went all clear.
They'd be off at last to the northern part of the northern hemisphere.
Skimbleshanks, the railway cat, the cat on the railway train.
You could say that by and large it was me who was in charge of the sleeping car express. From the driver and the guards to the bagmen playing cards, I would supervise them all, more or less.
Now the boring yogi faces and examines all the faces of the travelers in the first and the third. He establishes control by a regular patrol, and he at once if anything occurred.
He would watch you without winking, and he knows what you are thinking, and it's certain that he didn't approve of hilarity and riot, so the folk were very quiet when Skimble was about and on the move.
You could play no pranks with Skimbleshanks, he's a cat that cannot be ignored. So nothing went wrong on the northern mail when Skimbleshanks was aboard.
It was very pleasant when they found their little den with their name written up on the door. And the berth was very neat with a newly folded sheet and not a speck of dust on the floor. There was every sort of light, you could make it dark or bright, and a button you could turn to make a breeze. And a funny little basin you're supposed to wash your face in, and a crank to shut the window should you sneeze. Then the guard looked in politely and would ask you very brightly, do you like your morning tea?
Weak or strong?
But I was just behind him and was ready to remind him, for Skimble won't let anything go wrong.
When they crept into their cozy berths and pulled up the counterpane, they all would reflect it was very nice to know that they wouldn't be bothered by mice.
They could leave all that to the railway cat, the cat on the railway train.
Skimbleshanks, the railway cat, the cat on the railway train.
In the watches of the night, I was always fresh and bright. Every now and then I'd have a cup of tea, with perhaps a drop of scotch while I was keeping on the watch, only stopping here and there to catch a flea. They were fast asleep at crew, and so they never knew that I was walking up and down the station. They were sleeping all the while I was busy at Carlisle, where I met the station master with elation. They might see me at Dumfries if I summoned the police, if there was anything they ought to know about.
When they got to Gallowgate, then they did not have to wait, for Skimbleshanks would help them to get out. And he gives you a wave on his long brown tail, which says, I'll see you again.
You'll meet without fail on the midnight mail, the cat on the railway train.
Macavity's a mystery cat, he's called the Hidden Paw, for he's a master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. You may seek him in a basement. You may look up in the air. But I tell you once and once again, Macavity's not there!
Macavity's a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined in thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. For he's a bean in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in the by-street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity's not there.
He's outwardly respectable.
I know he cheats at cards.
And his footprints are not found in any files of Scotland Yards.
And when the larder's looted,
or the jewel case is rifled,
or when the milk is missing,
or another peak's been stifled,
or the greenhouse glass is broken,
and the trellis past repair, there's the wonder of the thing, Macavity's not there.
Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by-street, you may see him in the square.
But when a crime's discovered, then Macavity's not there.
You ought to ask Mr. Mistoffelees, the original conjuring cat. The greatest magicians have something to learn from Mr. Mistoffelees' conjuring turn. And we all say, oh, well, I never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. Oh, well, I never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. He is quiet and small, he is black, from his ears to the tip of his tail. He can creep through the tiniest crack. He can walk on the narrowest rail. He can pick any card from a pack. He is equally cunning with dice. He is always deceiving you into believing that he's only hunting for mice. He can play any trick with a cork, or a spoon and a bit of fish paste. If you look for a knife or a fork, and you think it is merely misplaced, you have seen it one moment, and then it is gone. You'll find it next week lying out on the lawn. And we all say, oh, well, I never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. Oh, well, I never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. His manner is vague and aloof. You would think there was nobody shyer, but his voice has been heard on the roof when he was curled up by the fire. And he's sometimes been heard by the fire when he was about on the roof. At least we all heard that somebody heard, which is incontestable proof of his singular magical powers. And I've known the family to call him in from the garden for hours when he was asleep in the hall. And not long ago, this phenomenal cat produced several kittens right out of a hat. And we all say, oh, well, and never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. He's a marvel! Oh, well, and never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. Oh, well, and never was there ever a cat so clever as magical Mr. Mistoffelees. You'll never believe it, you'll never believe it. Oh, well, and never was there ever a cat so clever as magical
You've heard of several kinds of cat, and my opinion now is that you should need no interpreter to understand our character. You've learned enough to take the view that cats are very much like you. You've seen us both at work and games, and learned about our proper names, our habits and our habitat. But how would you address a cat? So fast your memory, I talk and say a cat is not a dog. Now dogs pretend they like to fight. They often bark, more seldom bite, but yet a dog is on the whole what you would call a simple soul. The usual dog about the town is much inclined to play the clown, and far from showing too much pride, is frequently undignified. He's such an easy-going lout, he'll answer any hail or shout. About the town is inclined to play the clown. Again, I must remind you that a dog's a dog, a cat. With cats, some say one rule is true: don't speak till you are spoken to. Myself, I do not hold with that. I say you should address a cat, but always bear in mind that he resents familiarity. You bow, and taking off your hat, address him in this form: O cat. Before a cat will condescend to treat you as a trusted friend, some little token of esteem is needed like a dish of cream, and you might now and then supply some caviar or Strasbourg pie, some potted grouse or salmon paste. He's sure to have his personal taste, and so in time you'll reach